Hello and welcome to a program brought to you by Kurudzira. My name is Takawira, also known as TheCoach. Today I'm going to be taking you through a part series of the webinar, Securing Your Dream Job. So our topic of interest today is how to ace an interview. In the past few weeks, we've had speakers talking about targeting your desired position, making your presence known in social media, and also how to write an interview. And today, as we go through how to ace an interview, we're going to start with number 1, how to dress for an interview. So the first thing before you even think about what to dress in or what to wear is, when is my interview? What are the dates? What are the times of the interview? When do I get to the interview? Do I get there 2 hours earlier or do I get there 2 hours late? I'll leave that for you to decide. The issue of time management. And then in terms of your dressing, you want to prepare your dressing a week before or 3 days before if you've been given that much time. And when you get into your wardrobe, you want to find out what is in there that is suitable for an interview. If you're a gentleman, obviously you want to dress in a suit and a tie. And you want to obviously make sure that you try and dress in dark clothing. Maybe a gray, a black, or a dark brown. If you're a woman, make sure you dress smart, put minimal makeup, and don't put those earrings that dangle for everyone to see. Look as professional as you possibly can be. If you're going to be wearing a dress or a skirt, make sure that the length of the skirt or the length of the dress is long enough to retain the respect. That's number 1. Long enough to retain the respect, and also maybe just a little bit short enough to also retain the interest. Okay, so you want to prepare your dress code. Are you going to wear high heels? You obviously cannot wear pumps or flip-flops when you're going into an interview. You want to check and look at your nails. How do your nails look? Are they neat? If you have nail polish, make sure it looks good. It should not be half done or chipped. When you're preparing for your interview, make sure that you have all the right things in order. Believe it or not, it is actually important for you to brush your teeth, to wash and be clean, just to ace an interview. Because why do we want to do that? Why do we want to emphasize on the hygiene and cleanliness? The first thing that gets into the room before you is your odor. Your odor, obviously your CV has gotten in there, they've looked at it, and for them to want to even interview you, it means there's something there in your CV that is attractive. There's something there in your motivational letter that has caused them to want to see and know who the writer is of that motivational letter, or who has that write-up of a CV. So when you're getting into an interview room, the first thing that gets to them before they even can decipher what you are wearing is the odor. The odor will get in there first, and then your shadow, and then the dress code. So obviously you don't want to be dressed in bright pinks, bright yellows, or neon colors that are going to be too bright and they'll end up looking away because of you. Once they are put off by the way you are dressed, it means that chances of you actually acing the interview are lowered, even if maybe you are the best, even if maybe it's your second interview. A lot of people relax when it's their second interview because they think that now that I've aced the first interview, I've gone through HR, and now I'm going to be in front of the hiring manager. Obviously, I'm one of the best. I'll probably get the job. This is the reason why a greater number of people are unemployed, not because they are not a fit for the company or not because they are not qualified. It is actually because of the way they present themselves. This is presentation. You need to present yourself well. You need to look attractive before you even start speaking. Number 2, you need to look at the way you speak. the way you sit, is it graceful? A lot of people think, oh, I've got a wonderful CV. I've done a lot of programs. I'm a fellow at such a university. I'm recognized all over the world. But if the way you speak is muffled, and if the way you speak is inaudible, nobody wants to work with somebody that is inaudible when they actually can be able to speak. They want you to be loud and clear. They want you to be eloquent. They want you to mean what you say and say what you mean. They want you to speak so loud they can hear and they can decode the information that you're bringing into them. Imagine if they asked you a question. So tell us, where do you stay? And you say, oh, I stay in Green Hill. How do you think they're going to react to that? When they say, tell us where you stay, you say, I stay in Green Hill. Let them hear that you stay in a certain suburb or in a certain city and you're actually proud of being there because you have been there. Okay, so you want to make sure that your voice is loud enough, but not too loud. Not too loud. You don't want your voice to be too loud for them to end up scaring under the tables for you because of your voice. Okay. So number three, you want to find out which level in your career you are in. All right. You want to find out which level in your career you are in. Number one, you could be unemployed. So if you've been unemployed and suddenly a chance has availed itself for you to go into an interview or to attend an interview, it means you want to sit down with yourself and begin to ask your questions like, how long have I been unemployed? When they ask me questions such as, why have you been unemployed? What will I say to them? What will I leave out? What is the most relevant information for me to give out? What is it that I'm not supposed to say? You can't walk into an interview and say, oh, I've been unemployed for such a long time because things are bad, the economy is bad, there are no employers out there. Nobody wants to work with somebody that sulks a lot. You just tell them, for example, I've been in school studying, I've been doing some projects, and now that I'm done, I want to concentrate on working for a company such as yours. Okay, and then number two, you want to find out whether you are already employed and wanting to shift to another position within the same company. Is it a higher position perhaps? And most of the time, obviously, if you're in a certain organization and you are vying for a certain position or a different position, it means two things. It could mean when they employed you, they took you into a department that is not necessarily suitable for you, and you want to shift because the proper position has suddenly come up. Or you want to go to a higher position because now you know you're ready to be a leader. So if you're in that position, the one question that you want to be asking yourself is, am I ready for the new position? After all, it's going to be within the same organization. It might be in a different division, but it's still the same company. I'll still be reporting to the same bosses. You want to find out if you're ready. You want to find out if you have been working well with others. That is really very important. A lot of people are not team players. This is the reason why when a new position comes in the company, nobody wants to take them to that position because they know that once this person becomes a leader, the whole organization is going to come crumbling down. Why? Because maybe you're not a team leader, or maybe you have favoritism within the company, or maybe you're known for sexual assaults to others. So you need to consider your position before you begin thinking that the employer is not taking you because they are being unfair. The most important question is to ask yourself questions, and questions that matter. Questions that are going to help you and questions that are going to help even the organization. Okay, so number three, you may be employed, but you want to move to another organization. You want to move to a certain company. Maybe you want to grow. The experience where you are now is enough, and you want to go to a bigger organization where your talents and your qualifications can be recognized. So these are some of the questions to begin to ask yourself first. Okay, you ask yourself first all of those questions, and you tell yourself, can I be able to do it or not? Okay, so now moving on, you want to then sit down and research about the company. You want to know about their culture. You want to know about their ethics, their strategies. You want to know how they operate, how many employees they have. Has there been any form of retrenchment in the company? Because what if everybody is running away from that company and they're looking for employers, they're looking for new employees, and you fall into that trap, all because you didn't research. So what you need to do is you need to sit down with yourself, go onto the net, find out about the company, who is the current CEO, who is the current CFO, who is in charge of HR, who is in charge of the whole organization, who owns it, does it have shares, what are some of their interests, what are some of the new projects that they're indulging in, are they communicating with everybody else in society, what are they doing? You need to find out all of that before you join the company. Okay, and then you also want to anchor your mind. This is the most important. When we say anchor your mind, it means you need to calm your mind. You need to be in a state of mind where you are at peace with yourself, where you're actually happy and grateful that you have been called in to an organization. You want to be in a position where you are still within, you are at peace within. And how do you do that? In NLP, there's an anchoring tool that we use where you think of something beautiful that you like, of a time in your life that was so beautiful. Maybe you were at the beach, or maybe you're having a wedding, or maybe you met your first girlfriend. You want to think about that to calm you down, so that when things get tense, when you get into the interview room, you know exactly what to do. Obviously, you don't forget that you're in an interview and you start to close your eyes and start daydreaming. You want to sit down and close your eyes and calm down, and then be able to answer questions. But you do that when you're rehearsing, so that it comes naturally should you attend an interview. Okay, so the next one is you need to rehearse. When you're attending an interview, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Think of some of the questions that could be asked by the organization or by the hiring managers. One of the questions that is normally asked is, so, Rejoice, tell us about yourself. And these are some of the reactions that I normally see when people are being interviewed. They'll say, so Rejoice, tell us about yourself. And then you start thinking, about me. You really want to know. You don't want to do that during an interview. Or you don't want to say, obviously you know my name, and I'd really love to join this company. And there's, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Let me start again. You will put off the interviewers or the hiring managers. Most people, when they're asked this question, they say, my name is Rejoice. I have 3 children and a loving husband, and I stay in Green Hill. And a lot of people, they know me because I grow vegetables. And you don't want to be talking about your grandmother when you're in an interview room. What they're really just asking when they ask you that question is, what value can you bring into the organization? What changes will you make when you get into the organization? Let me say that again. When they ask you this question, what can you tell us more about yourself? Or can you tell us about yourself? What you want to say is, I'm going to bring value into the organization because I have a degree in marketing management, and obviously I've worked with a lot of people. I have worked for a certain company, and these are the results that I brought in. And outside of that, I've also managed a project outside of Zimbabwe, and these are some of the things that I have done. This is what they're asking when they're saying, tell us about yourself. They're not asking you about the dog that died 2 days ago. They're asking you about the value that you're going to bring into the organization, and they're asking you obviously about these solutions that you're going to bring into the company. Okay? And now we want to talk about the salary. A lot of people are asked, excuse me, a lot of people are asked, how much do you want to earn? Or how much would you like us to give you? A lot of people pause and they freeze and they get scared. Why? Because they're afraid that they're going to make the interviewer angry, that they mentioned a certain figure. If you think you're worth $2,500 US, you tell them, I think I really would like to get $2,500 a month, although I'm open to any other suggestions and negotiations that you might want to make. Let me say that again. When you're asked how much you would like to get for a salary, you don't say, oh no, I'm not so sure. Why don't you tell me what you can give me? You don't say that. Psychologically, you want to be the one in charge of how the figures are. You want to set a pace of what it is that you might want to give you. Obviously, if they can't give you what you want, they may go down, or maybe there's a certain figure that maybe a threshold that you can say, okay, I'll take this job. But whenever you are asked that question, this is what you want to say. I think $2,500 for starters is okay. I've got a family, and I think that it would be okay to cover for all their expenses and also pay for my tuition since I'm also going to school. But obviously, I am open to any other negotiations that you might have towards that figure. This is how you want to answer the question, okay? And you also want to rehearse what we call insight questions. What are insight questions? Insight questions are questions that you will be asking to the hiring managers. When you're asking the hiring managers, this is what you say. Number one, you want to connect with the hiring managers, whether it's one interviewer, two interviewers, or five of them. You want to connect with the interviewer and you say, so tell me, maybe they'll say to you, do you have any questions for us? And the number one secret is that there is no interviewee who should walk into an interview and come out of there without any questions for the interviewer or about the company. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to connect with them. You want to be at the same level as them. You want to understand why they joined the company. So you want to connect with them. And this is how you connect. So tell me, how did you join the company? How has it been for you? And the package, is it really good? You want to ask such kind of questions so that you can be able to connect with the interviewer. You also want to find out about the organizational culture. Are there any programs that you do for employees? Are you open to employees furthering their education? You want to find out those questions, and you want to listen carefully so that you also know whether the company is a fit for you. Okay, so you want to find out also what are the challenges that the companies have been facing. Remember, we spoke about retrenchment earlier. Maybe they'll tell you, we have retrenched 500 people and we're still in the process of retrenching more people. So you want to find out subtly how or why they're doing that. You want to find out if the company is in liquidation, because they might just say it without them knowing, and you'll know and decide whether you really want to join the company or not. Okay? And so the closing question would be, that's number 4. The closing question is, you want to say, so how will I know if I have aced the interview? Should I wait for you to call me? Or can you give me a date for me to call and find out? So these are some of the things that you want to do when you're in an interview. You never walk into an interview not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, not knowing how you're going to respond to questions. You should not stand straight, but you should be able to speak even using your hands to show that you're not afraid and that you're courageous enough to even attend the interview. Okay? So the last thing that you want to do is obviously thank them. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been inspiring and eye-opening. I hope to hear from you soon. And sometimes they'll say to you, thank you so much for attending the interview. but you're afraid you're not going to be able to make it. Maybe next time we'll call you. Don't go there and say, I knew you were not going to employ me. I knew you were not going to take, why did you call me? Why did you waste my time? I remember in a certain organization, there was a certain man who was not employed for some reason. So he went back into that organization and said, I want my CVs back. I want my money for photocopying. I want my money which I used to make calls. So you don't do that. You want to keep a relationship with the company. And you also want to let them know that you're open to any other positions that may be suitable for your qualification should there be any opening. Well, that is if you are declined. And you want to show your gratitude as you leave and show that you're okay, whether they take you or not, whether it's not looking good or not, whether you lost your name during the interview or not. If the opportunity allows, you can shake their hand to establish rapport. And you can stand up, pick up everything else that you might have, and say your goodbyes. Walk slowly. Don't walk too fast or angrily because they say they are not going to employ you. You just walk out slowly and make sure you close their door properly so that they see and feel that should you join the company, you're not a ticking time bomb. So thank you so much for joining us for this particular program. This is a series, a webinar where we're talking about how to secure your dream job. In the next webinar, we're going to be talking about how to make the most of the opportunity that you get should you be employed. So thank you so much and goodbye.